sense, it's part of the struggle. I mean, they're on their own. Whether it's a debt issue here you're saddled with, that you spend years trying to pay back as you're trying to make decisions about careers. For instance, to compromise that decision here. You might want to be a teacher. You might want to be involved in social work. You're carrying $37,000 worth of debt, and it's closing in on you. You start narrowing your choices economically to make. So you're alone, in a sense. That woman in that family that gets raided and divides up a family in the middle of the night here, and separates them here, it's trauma in that situation. I've seen that far too often, that happening again, people being isolated and alone, in a sense. So that interconnectability that gives people some sense of assurance and sense of community, that they're not alone during moments like that, is critical for everyone in the country. It isn't limited to those fact situations. You can think of a variety of ones where people get adversely trapped in those situations and don't know how to get out. And when by the time they do, the damage has been so significant it takes them forever to kind of recover from it. So I was impressed with both questions. And as I pointed out, it's important here in this process for people to say where they want to take the country. And I appreciate that. But it's also very important to raise the level of confidence that people ought to have in a choice they make to be the nominee of this party, that there be some strong record of where you've been on these issues over the years here. If it's just a matter of memorizing briefing books or memorizing some lines that are applause lines here without reaching back into that experience, they give me a sense of confidence, or others a sense of confidence, that I'll be able to do exactly what I've said I want to do. When I respond to those stories about what I will do, you have a heightened degree of confidence because of what I have done on these questions. So results and experience and proven ability to win on questions I think is terribly important.
One follow-up question, Senator Dodd. Would you support a moratorium on the raids being conducted by immigration and customs enforcement?
I wouldn't recall that. We went through this in New Haven, Connecticut as well, here with Mayor John DeStefano. That had the problem. And again, the effort there was primarily to provide identification for police and health workers in the community, so we have an idea what people were. This is in everyone's interest to have this kind of effort here. The minute that happened, for the ICE to turn around and start raiding homes, of course, had exactly the opposite effect of what we're trying to achieve here. So it seems to me, at the very least, there ought to be a moratorium until this Homeland Security Office starts thinking about what it's doing and what negative effect it's having on the well-being and health and security of all of us because of their actions.
Thank you.
What else? Yeah.
Senator Dodd, one of the groups putting on this event today is the U.S. Conference of Mayors. They've been passing out these books outside. And on right at the top of the housing page, it says, the National Affordable Housing Trust Fund, in October, the U.S. House of Representatives passed the National Affordable Housing Trust Fund Act of 2007, describes it a little bit. If it's gone from the House, it's headed for the Senate Financial Services Committee, which I believe you chair.
Right.
So please,
Well, we passed out the bill out of committee. Passed it out of committee, the FHA bill unanimously out of the committee a couple of weeks ago. And as you know, in the Senate, a little different than the House. I envy Barney from time to time because he doesn't have to worry about one senator deciding to put a hold on everything that comes across the transom. But the fact that we got unanimous support for the legislation, Republicans and Democrats, did not happen miraculously. A lot of work went into that. I want to thank Senator Shelby of Alabama, my Republican ranking member of the committee. Without his support and backing, that bill would have died in committee. We now are looking for a window of time to bring it up on the floor of the Senate. We thought we could get it done. 2 senators put a hold on it the other day. I was going to actually try and get it done before this 2-week recess that we had over Thanksgiving. As we get back, we're going to be back in session for 2 or 3 weeks before the holiday season again, before coming back in January. My hope is during that window we can get it done. So we'll continue to work on it and try and achieve it. Yes?
After what happened in New Hampshire yesterday, will security with your campaign change at all?
Well, I don't know. We haven't really talked about that. It's a good question, and we probably should have a discussion about it. But you know, again, you want to be careful. I don't like a campaign that gets so wrapped up in its security. I mean, in a sense, I'm out every day and meeting with people everywhere, and I don't want to feel constrained in that regard. And I know full well, having spent years in public life, that there's always these possibilities of things occurring. Gratefully, nothing happened yesterday here, but I'd be reluctant about all of a sudden having policies here in terms of offices and so forth that made it less accessible to the public. John Kennedy once said, you know, tragically, that no matter how much security you have, determined people, unfortunately, can cause great harm here. So I don't have any plans in the short run to change the style of campaigning or how our offices operate. Obviously, staff members need to be careful, but that should always have been the case. Okay.
Senator, why did you feel the need to come out this morning against Senator Obama for encouraging students who attend school in Iowa to come back to the state if they're from
Well, because they're out-of-state students to come back. It's out-of-state students here. This is an Iowa process. Yeah, it's out-of-state students. They're paying out-of-state tuitions to come the school. This is an Iowa process here. And these are unique in that regard. If it's going to be all of a sudden moving people all over the country to participate, you lose the credibility of it. Every other campaign is pretty much pledged that their campaign staffs and others will only involve those people who are citizens of the state to be involved here, to recruit people here through brochures, publishing 50,000 of them, to go out to out-of-state students to come back to participate in the Iowa caucuses. I think there's great damage to the process.
So even being a student here for a couple of years doesn't...
I think it's, candidly, that's, you want to become a resident state, you can do that, but you're not good doing that here. And so I think that's dangerous here. And it does change the process here. It's not about Iowa anymore. It's about people from neighboring states coming in and participating. And so all of a sudden, the results become, I think, challenging for people. And that shouldn't be the case. This is about Iowans making decisions here. That's what it's always been. That's why 4 years ago, John Kerry insisted upon the same kind of pledge. And they all took it. My hope would be that every candidate still would make that commitment here and not try to skew the results here by bringing people into a non-Iowans to participate in an Iowa process.
Thanks, folks.
Thanks, everybody.